Mr. Sabharwal, thank you very much for staying on with us. We've spoken about the sector as a whole, but let me talk about your role at Tata Capital itself. Over 2 decades at one of the country's largest private sector bank, you built the retail business there from what it was to what it is now. And now you're transitioned to an NBFC. How has the change been really for you?
No, it's been a very interesting change. I can only say one thing, first of all, that we are lucky to be in this country, which is a country of great opportunities. And within that country of great opportunities, to be with a brand like Tata's. There is no other brand which I can think of which commands so much respect from the customers. And it's all because of our founding fathers as well as the past chairmen and the current chairman, that all of this has happened. So I feel as a brand, there is tremendous opportunity. In terms of the whole ecosystem which we have, in terms of group companies, that presents another big opportunity. The focus of our group chairman, Chandra, in terms of ensuring that each company excels on technology and in the digital space also is, offers another big opportunity. Which group can boast of having a TCS with them, a Tata Motors with them, the largest steel company with them, the largest hospitality chain with them, the largest direct-to-home company with them, the largest retail chain with them. So it's just, I would say an ocean of opportunities.
So it falls on you to make sure that this becomes the largest financial services conglomerate as well within the Tata Group then. If you could share your plans there as well, we wanted to understand, within Tata Capital, you have various businesses and some of them are replicating work as well. Housing finance, your NBFC business, then there's a leasing business. You also have your private equity. I mean, there's a whole host of businesses. Is there a plan for consolidation, as Mr. Chandrasekaran has been pointing out, that you're working upon at Tata Capital?
So we are also driven by what Chandra talks about in terms of 3 things which we want to focus on: scale, simplicity, and synergy. And that runs across what we are trying to do at Tata Capital. Yes, we are present in a number of businesses, but we have a strategy behind it. In this period where I have been with Tata Capital, we've identified areas in which we wish to grow, areas where we don't wish to be, and areas where we need to get into. Luckily for us, we're now about 11 years old and well spread out, both geographically and in terms of our product portfolio. We today have about 60% of our book coming from retail, 25% from SME, and about 15% from commercial banking. And we feel as we grow along, we want to be in all these 3 sectors, while we feel that the retail may grow a little faster than the others, but we would want to be in each of these segments.
But you didn't answer my question. When you're talking about subsidiaries like, Tata Housing Finance, Tata Capital Finance, Tata Finance, I mean, aren't you looking at a consolidation? Have you identified some subsidiaries where you would be taking this first step?
So, for example, if you look at Tata Capital, it's a holding company, and it has a number of subsidiaries under it. Each of the subsidiary needs to be in that manner, because regulatorily, they are structured in that way. A housing finance company needs to maintain majority of its assets in housing. NBFC can have a play in retail, SME, as well as corporate. We have a separate infrastructure company, because we believe that if you are taking the risk on the infrastructure side, de-link it from the other businesses, because that company would need different sort of capital structure. That company will different sort of funding and may need different partners. So we have IFC as a partner in our infrastructure company. Again, PE companies have to run separately. You can't mix it with the lending business. So, we have a subsidiary which is in securities. Again, that business cannot be clubbed with an NBFC or HFC.
So leaving private equity and investment banking aside, what about your other lending businesses? Are you ruling out any consolidation?
So, if you look at it, they in a way work very closely with each other, but they need to be distinct entities because of the very nature of their businesses. For example, if you look at any other group, even if you look at an HDFC, their NBFC is separate, their housing parent is separate, and the bank is separate.
Yeah.
Because structurally, that's the way they should be run because of the very nature of business they do.
No,
they separate regulators.
Completely understand that, but can I just take that as a no when it comes to consolidation within the financial services group?
I think the consolidation is happening at the Tata Capital level.
Okay.
So one holding company which will have all financial services companies.
Yeah.
So consolidation is at the Tata Capital level,
Okay.
but beneath that you will have individual companies which focus on different businesses.
Okay, speaking of the different businesses, you said a large part of the focus remains on retail, which may grow faster than, say, SME and corporate. You clocked a 50% profit growth. Your AUM is at 61,000 crore rupees. Could you share your outlook? What will be the key focus areas and key growth drivers for Tata Capital from here on?
So when we look forward and when we laid out our plan, there are few things which we believe will be the bedrock on which all of the things which we want to do will work on. One is on customer service. We believe that we are in this industry purely because of the fact that customers trust us. So one big driver for us is going to be to excel on customer service and be better than the others. Second thing which we are focusing on is how to embed technology and digital in each and every part of what we do. So how can we be offering loans to you in much faster than the others? How can your experience while you interact with me digitally be far better than the others? So that's the second area in terms of customer experience. The third is driving this whole philosophy of One Tata.
Yeah.
We believe that there is tremendous opportunity because we've got the best companies in the country. And why country? Globe. Some of them are global leaders. So with these set of companies there, how do we ensure that we not only have a lending relationship with them, but also look at how do we finance their value chain, the suppliers, the vendors. How can we offer more loans to customers of our companies? For example, how can we offer more loans to customers of Chroma, of Tata Sky, and so on? And obviously, equally important is the fact that how can we offer loans to employees of Tata companies? We have close to about 6.5 lakh employees in the group. How can we be a financier of choice for them? So our whole effort will be to use technology, digital interfaces in reaching out to our group companies and ensuring that we create or in fact co-create solutions for any of their dealers, vendors and employees.
Currently, indirectly and directly within the Tata Group, what percentage of your book would be exposed to?
So if I have to talk about this One Tata concept, it's still very, very, in the nascent stage, but close to about 10% of the business does get originated because of our relationships. Okay. And in some businesses, it is a little more, in some a little less. But we believe that that has a potential to just multiply. Multiply
too?
So we believe that in 5 years, that could be 1/3 of our business could originate from our ecosystem.
Oh, okay. Could you share your targets? For instance, AUM at the end of FY18 is about 61,000 crore rupees. Profits have grown 50%. And what is the sort of target you have for the close of the next financial year? What is the credit growth you're anticipating in the current environment?
It would be tough to share the numbers there, but what...
Some outlook that you can give.
Yeah, definitely. Because, we want to grow at a rate which is better than the market growth rate.
Which is not hard to, I would say, overcome right now.
Yeah, we should do better than that. But what we internally talk about within the organization is this, that quality comes before quantity. So in this year, the whole focus is on ensuring that we build very strong fundamentals. We build the bedrock for growth in the future. So our focus on ensuring our service quality, our focus on ensuring we use the best tools on technology, how do we create great digital interfaces, how do we create a team, that is also extremely important. So like in this year, we have looked at, which are the people within the organization who can grow and we can give them bigger responsibilities. And if we have gaps from outside, we got resources from outside who are best in the industry.
I wanted to ask you on that. I believe a lot of your team building, especially in the wealth, management portions, is coming from your, ex-employer as well. A lot of people have joined in.
So there are some people from ICICI.
Yes.
At ICICI is a great organization. It helps create a lot of leaders, and having some from there, and having a mix from people who've grown internally and some from other organizations. We've got few people from some foreign banks joining us too. So we've got a healthy mix of people.
Speaking of the brand and the leadership of your previous employer as well, ICICI Bank, how do you view the recent turn of events? I mean, was it unfortunate the way we saw an end of someone's career which has spanned over 3 decades?
I feel ICICI has been a great organization, and Chanda was a great leader too, and having helped build a strong both retail and a wholesale organization. I have learned a lot from right from Mr. Vagul to Mr. Kamath, as well as from Chanda a lot, and I wish everyone the very best.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Also coming back to your own Tata Capital, any plans of a public listing anytime soon? So I know many of the Tata Group companies are listed, and Tata Capital is one that is talked about a lot, but we haven't really heard. Is there, a milestone you want to achieve before you go for that listing, or is that not something that you would consider at all?
This is a question you should pose to Chandra and Saurabh, what they think about this, and they will be the right people to answer. For me, my whole job is about creating a good organization, helping the organization grow, having leaders who can take us forward in the future. As far as I'm concerned, whenever I need capital, my parent Tata Sons is happy to give me the capital, and I'm happy with that. What Tata Sons wants to do with the company and what they feel about the future, I leave it to them.
Well, but especially talking about growing the business, you earlier mentioned there are some segments that you do not want to grow in, and there are some segments that you want to enter. Could you elaborate that? I mean, is there some loophole that you'd like to fill in your current bouquet of financial services?
Yeah, we recently revamped our complete wealth management practice because we felt that there is a great opportunity for us to grow in that space. Yeah. So consequently, we've got a new leader, we've put together a completely new team, and we believe that's going to be one big area in which we wish to grow in the future. Similarly, we believe leasing has a great opportunity, and we want to completely revamp and ensure that that becomes a big business for us. We are also looking at can we get into high transaction oriented businesses, like we have a company, Tata Securities, but we are exploring whether we should make this more active, create a platform where people can engage online and create like, let me say, a support system for our wealth management team on the broking side. But that is something which we are still looking at and exploring, and we feel there is an opportunity, we will look at it.
Just a word on your private equity business as well. Any large exits you're eyeing in the recent future?
So we've had a number of exits, and there is discussion going on a few more of them, like the largest health insurance company in the country. We've had multiple funds on that side, and touchwood, all our funds have done extremely well. We must be one of the better performing funds in the market. As a future strategy, we've decided to have our fund 2 in 3 of our funds, the opportunity, growth and healthcare, and we're looking at closing this sometime during the next year.
Okay. Before we close, just one last question. What is next for Tata Capital? I mean, after being an NBFC, do you have ambitions of perhaps being a universal bank at some point of time? I know maybe not in the near future, but what is the ultimate plan from here?
My all plans are based on what the current regulations allow, which means that we won't have
large
a banking license.
Yes.
And so all our 5-year plan has been made assuming that we remain in these areas or new areas where we have identified. But we continue to watch what the regulations are, and we'll look at if we need to change our plans depending on what regulations throw at us.
All right. On that note, thank you very much for speaking to us, Mr. Sabharwal. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Ritu. Pleasure talking to you.